The Holocaust has now been drained of any moral content. It's simply a weapon used by Israel and its supporters to deflect criticism of Israeli policy. And it was also for a long period used as a blackmail weapon to extract what was called compensation for needy Holocaust victims, but which was in fact the shakedown racket of Europe. It's a money-making machine, and it's also a political weapon. How many people in your audience remember that before the United States attacked Iraq, Israel and its apologists dragged in the Holocaust, used the Holocaust to say that Saddam was Hitler, to say that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction? Do people remember how Israel was whipping up the hysteria about the threat that Iraq posed to Israel, the existential threat of Saddam Hitler, how Shimon Peres, Barak, and all the other leaders of Israel went around the world beating the drums of war? We had to attack Iraq. Iraq was an existential threat to Israel. Iraq had weapons of mass destruction. That's what the Holocaust has become. It's become the chief weapon for mobilizing hysteria to wage war. Now, isn't that an irony? That's what the Holocaust is today, a shakedown racket and a weapon, an ideological weapon to wage war. Did Iraq have weapons of mass destruction, Mr. Charny, as your government whipped up the hysteria around the world that Iraq had weapons of mass destruction and presented an existential threat to Israel? And while we're at it, Mr. Charny, when you list all the people who suffered, how about the 1 million Iraqis who are now dead? Do you include those in your list? How about including the 1,400 Palestinians who you killed in Gaza? And how about including the 1,400 Lebanese who you killed in the summer of 2006? And now you want to wage another war on Iran? And you think I am going to let you, in the name of my parents' suffering, drag in their bodies, their suffering, so you can whip up another hysteria against Iran and maybe blow up the whole Middle East in the process and kill millions of people? I really think you ought to stop. Mr. Charny must surely have heard of the name of Raoul Hilberg, who was the world's leading authority in the Nazi Holocaust. In fact, he founded the field of Holocaust studies. Now, Mr. Hilberg said and documented in the last edition of his 3-volume history of the Nazi Holocaust, he said and documented that American Jews used the Holocaust as a blackmail weapon to extract monies from the Swiss banks, that all the claims that were made against the Swiss banks were false. Yesterday, some Jerusalem Center, one of those corporate entities of the Holocaust industry, released a new report. And it said that nearly half of Europeans believe that Jews use the Holocaust for financial gain.